It's been a great few months for the natural gas price, with the price almost but not quite doubling off those June lows. June lows came in around 152 and have traded just above 280 in recent days. But I'm just wondering, are we reaching a turning point for natural gas? So in this video, we'll take a look at things in more detail and see where the opportunities might be. We've definitely seen a turnaround in the fortunes of natural gas this year. We peaked last year, last November, up around about 294, 295, then was under pressure for pretty much all of this year, into June as well, setting a multi-year low, breaking below, but very briefly below those old lows from March, April. And since then, we've seen this fantastic turnaround. I'm just wondering where the opportunity is next. Do we think about going short up here ahead of those old highs from November? Or actually, is there more still to come? This is just a pause in the trend before it pushes much higher. We do have a trade running at the moment. Let's take a look at it. So our natural gas trade has done really well. We placed it back on the 21st of July, buying in at 168 for a risk of a couple of £100. And it's up about £800 so far. So we've made 4 times the risk. It's been the best performing natural gas trade I've done over the last year by quite some margin. I'm going to take a look at those natural gas trades in a few minutes' time, because it's been an interesting year, I think, when it comes to trading natural gas. So the question is now, I think we need to think about clearly moving the stop and locking in some profit, and also setting up the next trade for natural gas. So we're going to see this momentum carry on. I'll talk a bit more about what's been driving it. We'll look at the big levels, then we'll come back on and see if we can get our trade set up. Hello, I'm David Jones from Capital.com, and I thought we'd do an update on natural gas. You can see we've seen a really big move over recent months, which has definitely helped our P&L when it comes to natural gas. But I do wonder, are we reaching perhaps a turning point? So in this video, we'll talk about what's been driving it lately, the big levels to watch. Then we're going to go back onto the platform. I'm actually going to look at the trades I've done over the last year for natural gas. Then we'll take a look at it in more detail, see what we can do with that existing trade that's got about 4 times the risk in terms of profit at the moment, and see if there's another trade to do. As usual, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, if you could click on subscribe, it helps support the channel, means we can continue to push out 4 videos every week on the various markets that we cover. But let's get into natural gas. Let's talk about what's been moving the price. So it's been a really volatile year, 2020, for the price of gas, in common with plenty of other markets, of course. We saw it hit its worst levels, so the lowest price since 2016. And at the moment, we're up at the highs for the year to date, pretty much, and not far off highs from last November. So it's really turned around over recent months. When we last looked at natural gas, we talked about the inventories, basically the stockpile for natural gas. And these were high. These were higher than they were at the same time 5 years ago, and 30% higher than a year ago. So we do have, plenty of supply, it looks like. But we also had demand during the summer. We saw various heat waves in the US, and this helped the demand for the likes of liquefied natural gas powering air conditioners. So despite the lockdown and despite offices being shut, we have seen still plenty of demand for natural gas. But I think we do have some indecision at the moment, what the next few weeks, no, next few months is going to look like from a supply and demand point of view. The Energy Information Administration in the US has upped its target for the end of 2020 for natural gas, and has given us a target of $2.49. But you can see that indecision in the market, with what's been going on with the price action. It has pushed out to fresh highs for this recovery, but broadly speaking, the last few weeks have been somewhat range bound for the price of natural gas. So I think there is almost a wait and see feeling in the market at the moment. Let's talk about the levels to watch, then we'll jump back on the chart. So $2.81 is the most recent high. And I think after that, I think $3, it's going to be, could be potentially a big barrier from a psychological point of view. But saying that, when natural gas starts moving, it does have an ability to just blast through these previous barriers. On the most recent low, we've got $2.60, and that's really the range from $2.60 to $2.80. That's where we've been trading more recently. But to put some color on these numbers, let's jump back on the chart, look at things in more detail, adjust the trade, and see if there's a new trade to be done. before we get into natural gas, I thought it'd be interesting to have a look at the trades I've done on natural gas, because I know it has been a really difficult market for me over the last year, to say the least. So what I did with the Capital account, I can get emailed all the trades I've done over the last year. And here's natural gas. So here's the latest one. This is our open profit of around £800. But you can see what a challenging year it has been trading natural gas. I definitely felt along the way that whatever I did, the price of natural gas was going to go the wrong way. So this trade is dragging us back up to more of a break-even position on natural gas. But I think it's really interesting to see it broken down like this. So many losers, getting wrong-footed all the time. And how important it is to run your profits. So this trade that's made about £800 so far has helped claw back four losing trades of £200 ago. So I thought it'd be interesting to take a look at that. But let's get into what's happening in the here and now. I do think we have seen a turnaround for natural gas in recent weeks. If we went right back, then our trend perhaps looks something like this. Breaking out here in April. And I think I did get wrong-footed back then as well, buying in. And we've seen a lot of false breaks in natural gas in both directions over the last 12 months or so. And then the reason I did the trade, if we zoom in to what's been going on this year, it was this move in June to the lows, broke through the old lows, the old support from March and April, but we never got any follow-through. So I ended up buying in, where was it, 168 or something? I think probably around here, wasn't it, when we came back for the retest. And since then, the market has moved a lot higher. So I had a really obvious place for a stop loss. And I think this is the problem at the moment. We don't have that much of an obvious place. Let's just step this out again. So we do have some hurdles coming up. We've got the most recent highs at 281. Then we've got this old high up here, 294, 295, ahead of 3. So we do have some real big barriers coming in on the upside for natural gas. So I think there's an argument for doing a couple of things here. If we look at the RSI down here, it went overbought on the way up early August and has stayed pretty much in overbought since then. It's lost a lot of momentum over the last couple of weeks or so. So that is suggesting that perhaps this rally is a little bit tired up at these levels. So if you wanted to go short natural gas, you can go short. And for me, the logical place to put a stop would be above those highs. Above those 281 highs is where I put a stop if I was going short. But I'm reluctant to go short because this trend is still up on gas, even though we are a long way away from where the line is at the moment. So I think in the short to medium term, I think it's definitely got the scope to correct from this into this trend. Let's just look at August on an hourly chart. So you can see how good the support from 255 through to 260 has been. You know, perhaps if we start breaking below there, then we get something of a deeper sell-off. Then we've got bigger support coming in around about 241. So I'd still be tempted to be a buyer on a dip on natural gas, but not buying up here. I'd rather sit this one out for a bit, see if we get a sell-off, and look to buy in perhaps next time round. But I still need to tweak my existing trade. Let's take a look at that. So my stop at the moment on this is at 247. I have been moving it up, so bought in at 168. Take profits, stop at 247. Let's take a look at what that looks like on the chart. So the moment my stop at the moment is sitting around about here, which is a fair enough place. I might crank it up a bit. I'm going to move it to perhaps 254. So I'll nudge it up slightly. If we do start to break down to new lows for the week, I'll be taken out of the trade. So that's in now at 254. So I'll be happy to take the profits on that. Sit this one out. If we get a much deeper sell-off back to the low twos, I think it looks like a good opportunity again. So we'll look at it next time round. That's it for our natural gas update. We'll see if this indecision can be sorted out over the next few weeks. But from me, David Jones and Capital.com, good luck with your trading. For more trading videos just like this, please subscribe to our channel.